Welcome back. You are listening to the COVID-19 mini-series special on Plant-Based Nation. This is Tabby.
And this is Holly.
And you're listening to Plant-Based Nation.
And are there any other, since we were going to talk about ways that we can stay sane, I think that's the existential sanity part of it. Have you found any other practical ways that you're staying sane?
Yeah, actually, so even though we've been in isolation for the most part, I've actually used this time to reconnect with people that I used to be friends with, that I never had the time to do that with anymore. So the other night I actually scheduled a Google Hangout meeting with my college roommates from 10 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And that was so much fun. I mean, so there were a couple of them I kept in touch with up until I made it through grad school. So let's see, graduated. When did I graduate? 2013. So it's still been a long time, 7 years really. Since
it's been that
long.
Oh my god.
I know.
Tabby and I went to the same grad school, by the way.
That's where we met, and that's where our friendship blossomed. But anyway, so it was really cool to reconnect with everybody, and I thought about doing it because earlier in the year I found out my uncle, he meets his frat brothers that he went to college with and graduated with in the early 90s. Every year they meet in Northern Virginia somewhere, and none of them geographically are near each other. And I was just thinking, okay, if these people are able to meet in person once a year, there's no reason why I can't meet virtually with my friends from college who I have really good memories with. We just parted ways, as life tends to, pull people apart sometimes.
Right.
And so that was a lot of fun. So I did that.
Oh, cool.
And then also in my town, I think I already told you this, but I don't know if you've heard this, but there are a lot of places around the country right now that are putting teddy bears in their windows.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this? Yeah. So I actually just, I thought it would be, there are a few towns around us that are doing that. And I thought, because my town's pretty small, I thought, there's no reason why we couldn't do this here. Let's try and do it here. And so I started a little Facebook group, and we started out with 6 people participating, and now I think it's up to over 100. And it's been really fun because people post pictures of their bears, and one mom commented in the community page that she took her 8-year-old out for a walk last weekend, and he found 2 or 3 bears, and he was so excited. And so it kind of, I've been trying to use it as a way to reconnect and sort of I guess build bonds with the community. And the last thing we've been doing too is we've been trying to EJ and I, we've been trying to schedule virtual hangout sessions with a couple of our friends. And the other night we had our first Netflix movie watching party. And
that's a good idea.
Have you done that before? Because now we're an expert in how to set that up.
Yeah, I will. You'll have to text me how to do it.
Yeah,
because Dave would love that.
It was so much fun. And so it was really cool. So basically, for those that don't know, there's a Chrome extension. You have to download it. And then if you have Netflix and the other person has Netflix, once that extension is downloaded, you pick out your movie, you press a little button, and then you share that movie with whoever you're trying to watch it with. There's a little share link. And then you can watch it at the same exact time. And it was so fun. And so we did that. And then we had our virtual session on the side, so we were able to hear each other commenting on it and talking about it and stuff throughout. So that was a lot of fun. So what about you? What have you been doing?
So similarly, we had a Facebook happy hour the other night, last week, I guess, with a couple of our friends after we put the kids to bed. And it was super fun, actually, because I only knew 2 of the people that were in it. And one of the couples was in Colorado. and they had like since moved away, and they moved to Colorado, and like my one friend who actually lives right across the street from us, he set it up, and it was so fun. We all sat on our couches and like got drunk and like joked around, and it was so funny. It was so nice to like see new people, for one
Right.
thing, like meet
Right.
new friends who were friends of my friends.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
yeah, it really, really helped us out a lot, like mentally, because it's
Yeah.
like Dave and I, our relationship's pretty new, so that hasn't worn off yet. But like being with the kids all the
Yeah.
time can get really overwhelming.
Is Dumbo with you guys? Dumbo
Yes,
Bunny?
the rabbit's with us.
Good. Good.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
figured.
yeah, yeah. Yes, and the rabbit, and our 13-pound rabbit. Um,
Yeah, which is basically like another toddler, I
it is.
imagine.
He is.
In many ways.
But yeah, so we did that, and that was really great. We gotta do that again. And, so Dave and I are also very, uh, silly, creative people.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've watched Tiger King yet.
I have
Um,
not. I have not
you're good.
watched it
Okay,
yet.
I will tell you, it's super cringy, but
Yeah.
it's
Me
so shocking. Like,
I talked to our mutual friend the other day, McHugh, and he
uh-huh.
told me that it might feel a little too close to home for me, but I should still watch it. I was like,
No,
"Okay."
no, it's not even like these people, these are not vegans. These are not
Right, no,
like,
they're not.
no, these
He
are.
was I think he was referring to my, bumpkin roots, from whence I've come from in Virginia way back
Oh,
when, so
that's funny. That's
yeah,
hysterical.
that's the
Oh
angle.
my God. So I would suggest Tiger King because it's just so off the wall. It's
Yeah,
enthralling, like
yeah,
enthralling, really. This is
right.
why we're obsessed with it right now. But Dave and I made a video. Basically, he came home and was like, You know what this show needs? It needs a drink menu. We need
Oh,
to pay homage to this show through alcohol."
that's funny.
Those are my words. But
Yeah, yeah,
he was like,
sure.
"We need to make up drinks." So we sat and made a drink list for the
Okay,
Tiger King, and then we
alright.
filmed it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
ridiculous. But we've been trying to do stuff like that, to still make us feel like we're trying to use social media to like make us still feel connected to the world.
right.
And what else have I been doing? I've been doing a lot of crafts, which has been nice with the
Oh, yeah, me
kids.
too. I forgot to even
Yeah.
mention that. Yeah, I've
Oh,
been doing that
nice.
too. Mhm.
Crafting is
Yeah, yeah.
so good for you.
It
Like,
is, it's so therapeutic, and I never had
oh,
time for it before when
I
I was,
know, right? And
driving
I
around and
love that I
stuff.
can like sit down and like do a craft while, so I've been doing that. I've been making a lot of stuff for the walls, and like today I sat down with Grace, Dave's daughter, and we were like doing watercolors. So I
Aw,
painted like
that's
a
fun.
little beach scene, of course, because I'm like, I want to be outside.
Oh, that's cute. That's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
can't I can't say what I've been working on craft-wise because it's gonna be a gift for, a bride to be, but yeah, I've been
oh,
doing some
nice.
crafting and it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
So,
good. Yeah, I went
yeah.
out before this whole thing started. Like, well, I mean, I think like one of my one of our like very last shopping trips out, like to get supplies, I loaded up on craft stuff because I was like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
having these kids at home, I'm gonna need like tons of stuff. And I think I'm
for
about to
real.
do like another order, like an online order from Michael's to like have stuff shipped
Yeah.
here. Um,
Can I just get on a soapbox for a half second as
oh
somebody
yeah.
who does not have kids but was totally judging somebody's parenting recently? Okay. Because I saw, and I say this with love, if by any chance this person ever listens to this episode, which I highly doubt they will, but um, so I was on a Facebook group, and I saw that this mom, she was posting that her, her kid has run out of books to read. She's got like a younger um, little girl, and
Hmm.
they usually go to the library. Libraries have been closed. So she was
Yeah.
posting a request for like people to mail her used books and stuff like that. And because her daughter doesn't like to read ebooks on a Kindle or an iPad or anything, which I get. Like I appreciate that too. I prefer an actual book.
Hmm.
And she was saying, my kid is like reading me into the poorhouse because she keeps having to buy her new books, which I
Hmm.
totally sympathize with. But I was a little concerned though, because I'm thinking, I don't know that I would be asking people to mail me books when this stuff is going on, because like I don't know the survivability of that on like pages or on cardboard or anything like that. Like what do
It's
you
not
think?
very long. I think they've recorded the survivability on stainless steel as like 3 days.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Okay.
and so everything else is lower than that.
Okay.
Plus
Okay.
I think you can just spray it with Lysol and leave it out for a day.
That's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the
All
thing.
right, I
It's
take it back.
really mostly airborne is what the issue
Yeah.
is. So I don't know. I mean, like I have a friend who has a son who's very immunocompromised, and
Right.
she posted on Facebook that she was like in desperate need of paint because she's a painter and she had run out of white paint,
Oh
which is
no.
a color she uses a lot of. And so
Yeah.
um she was like, if anybody's going to the store, can you please pick me up some? And I
Aw.
had like some extra. I had a whole extra tube of it. And so I was like, I'll just bring it to your door. And so I sanitized it as soon as I got there because I have like wet wipes in my car. And so I wiped it down and left it outside her door. And she like waved to me from the door and thanked me, because
Aw.
it's like you kind of have to, like, I mean, no one in her house has been leaving unless they have to. And her
Right, right.
husband is a police officer. So it's like
Ooh,
she's
that's
had
tough.
to, yeah, so I'm sure they're like super stressed out trying to figure this whole thing out when they have somebody who's like very immune compromised.
Yeah,
Um,
I just I can't imagine being a police officer right now, having to work while this is all going on. I was listening to a podcast the other day. What is it called? Oh, Murder Squad, because I love true crime, if you haven't figured it out. But they were talking about how this whole thing has impacted how police officers have to conduct crime scene investigations,
oh, I bet.
or even like responding to a call like of domestic violence, let's say, which they were
Right,
saying, that's one of the most dangerous calls that
right.
officers can get.
Hmm.
Um, and one of the questions now that dispatchers are required to ask is whether or not somebody has tested positive or whether or not they're a suspected case. And if the answer is yes to either of those questions, these officers have to take extra time to like suit up basically in PPE before they
Oh
respond
my
to the call. And it's
gosh.
like, what the hell? Like, I can't imagine. So stressful. So
Yeah.
stressful.
Mm,
Um, but
crazy.
uh,
Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to the show. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram to get connected to the Plant Based Nation community.
you can also send us an email at plantbasednationbc@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.